I have a couple of them. So let's go through language by language, shall we?
デスノートを落としちまった。
んぎゃははは。今度はまたすっげえドジしたな。
난 다시 태어나면 남자가 되고 싶어. 갑자기? Y así caerá la espada. So there's a fight. This thing scared the heck out of me. His monster bum was just too exposed. Komm sofort runter, Idiot!
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name's Deandra. Today I thought I would share with you the manga that I have currently. I'm still trying to get back into manga and anime. I used to be quite the otaku. I used to have a lot more. I have no idea what happened. But I started collecting manga again when I started traveling in order to practice my languages. So I have a couple of them. So let's go through language by language, shall we? So let's start with Japanese, where it all began. I got the Death Note box set. I also have the anime. Now you know what my favourite series is. I got these at Book Off in Kyoto in Kawaramachi. So for those who don't know the story of Death Note, I will read the blurb of book 1 for you. このノートに名前を書かれた人間は死ぬ。死神リュウクが人間界を落とした一冊のノート、デスノート。ここから二人の選ばれし者、ヤガミライトとエルの壮絶な戦いが始まる。かつてないスリルとサスペンス。かつてない。Unprecedented, never seen before. To get a bit of practice in, I'll read the first page. 死神会。毎日同じことの繰り返し。つまらねえ。この世は腐ってる。
ねんねどころ2つ。また俺の勝ちだ。
あれからいつか。そろそろ行くか。
どこ行くんだ、リュウク。ここはどこに行ったって不毛だぜ。
デスノートを落としちまった。
んぎゃははは。今度はまたすっげえドジしたな。つーか、おめえ、じじいだまか。つーか、おめえ、じじいだまくらかして2冊持ってたんじゃねえか。2冊とも落としたのかよ。で、どこに落としたか分かってるわけ？け。
人間界。
And then he flies down. Why are you here? The other Japanese manga that I have is Shingeki no Kyojin. I started watching this in uni. It just, like, the second season was taking so long to come out, and then all of a sudden, next thing I know, there are like 4 seasons now and a movie or something. I have a lot of catching up to do. So for those who don't know the story, I'll read the blurb for you. 巨人が全てを支配する世界。巨人の餌と化した人類は巨大な壁を築き、壁外への自由を引き換えに侵略を防いでいた。だが目ばかりの平和は壁を越える大巨人の出現により崩れ、絶望の戦いが始まってしまう。その日、人類は思い出した。奴らに支配されていた恐怖を。鳥かごの中に囚われていた屈辱を。disgrace, humiliation。死ぬ方が屈辱を受けるよりもマシだ。は？ Is this why
Don't tell me that's why the unalive rates are so high. That's the first example sentence. I hope people don't believe that.
So this is the layout.
Manga layout incorporated within. It is a book about wine. Wine 1年生. I took a beginner course after I graduated university to learn more about wine, and it was incredibly interesting. I really enjoyed it, so I thought it would be cool to indulge in my interests in my target language. はじめにワインを感じ So when I don't know a kanji, I use the app called Kanji Study, and I first count the amount of strokes, 11, and then the radicals, we've got chikara, kanben kanchigai. はいはいはい。勘弁してくれよとか。ラベルを眺めてみても一体何が書いてあるのか解読不能。So on to the next country that I bought manga from, South Korea. Again, I know the story of Death Note, and although the vocabulary may not be very relevant, as the beginner that I was, I'm more interested in picking up Death Note than picking up a magazine or reading an article. So the first time that I tried to read the first chapter or two, I used sticky notes. When I went back to study the first chapter, I crossed out all the words that I have learned since. Vocabulary is the hardest thing for me for Korean. I struggle to retain a lot of the words. Let's read the next 2 pages. 이 자신이 인간계에 떨어들인 한 권의 노트 때문에 2명의 선택받은 자의 처절한 싸움이 시작된다. Death Note. 직역하자면 죽음의 공책. Every time I went to my favorite Jinjilbang in Seoul, I would bring Death Note 1 and bathe, eat, read, and either go out clubbing or sleep. It was great. Really, really, really great memories with this. This one I got as a gift from my Hagwon boss, not the one in my Why I Left Korea video. This is the first Hagwon boss. This one is 너의 이름은. This is Kimi no Nawa in Korean. 만난 적 없는 두 사람의 해우. 해후. Reunion. Let's screenshot that. I have so many screenshots. So many words I don't know. 아침에 눈을 뜨니 울고 있다. 난 다시 태어나면 남자가 되고 싶어. 갑자기? I tried using sticky notes in this sense with no translation, so that the next time that I picked up the book, I would read the words and see if I remembered the meanings. Yeah, I like to try out lots of different techniques. I don't think I continued with that one. He yawned. 뭐예요? 아침부터 거에게 하품을 하시고 어젯밤도 마누라가 잠을 못 자게 해서 무슨 소리래? 엄마 10년도 더 전에 돌아가셨는데? 헐. That's that. I'm looking forward to giving that another go. On to the next one. The next country that I went to after Korea was Spain. I went to Madrid for 2 weeks after I escaped, and I haven't gotten past episode 2 or 3 of the Bleach anime, but I remember reading the manga in Japanese and it hit different. The Bleach manga, so good. I think I cried. If I didn't cry, I think I teared up. And so I was thinking,
yeah, let's get the manga instead of watching the anime, you know. Ichigo Kurosaki, de 15 años, es un chico que puede ver fantasmas. A pesar de esa habilidad especial, lleva una vida bastante tranquila. O así era hasta que un día, de pronto, se topa casualmente con una joven que se autodenomina Shinigami, mensajera de los muertos, y con un espíritu maligno al que ella llama Holo, que hará Ichigo al ver a su familia en peligro. Bleach, the death in the strawberry. Es por aquí. Ajá. Siento una fuerte energía espiritual. Y así caerá la espada. Ha tumbado a Toshirin. No sé quién es, pero no me gusta nada. Pregunta número 1. ¿Qué puñetas creéis que es eso? Tú, el apestoso. What is apestoso? Apestoso. It doesn't sound like a nice word. Apestoso. Stinking, annoying, irritating. Había un tipo apestoso en la cafetería y no me dejaba en paz. Sounds like every man in that bar in Paris. What? Tú, el apestoso de ahí. Yo apestoso. I also got, for the nostalgia, Blackbird. I used to read this online and I saw it and I was like, buying it. So I did. I can't remember the story. I remember that they were married and he's a Tengu. And that's literally what I remember. So let's read the blurb. Algún día vendré a buscarte. Porque tú así lo habías prometido. Estuve siempre esperando el día en que tu calidez regresara a mí. Pero delante de mis ojos tu silueta aparece, como la extraña figura de un Ayakashi con alas negras. Has venido a devorar mi cuerpo. ¿Ocaso a robarme el corazón? Ooh. See, romance but with violence and drama. Misao, tú eres mi, y por eso. And he turned into a Tengu. I can't remember what Tengu is. A long-nosed goblin. But he's so attractive. Why does Japan kawaii-fy everything? What a mecha kawaii! ¿Qué haces allí paralizada? Oye. Aunque las personas normales no pueden verlos. Ah, perdón, ¿qué decías? Mañana es tu cumpleaños, ¿no? ¿Qué vas a querer? Un novio. Un novio. No hace falta que lo repitas. So after Spain, I went to France. It was on my... Not only was it something that I wanted to do before Brexit took full effect, but it was also something that I told my teenage self and my ex that I wanted to do before I settled down, and I did it. Okay, just a Death Note fan over here. Leave me be. So I read a couple chapters of this when I went out one day, just basking in the sun. Si je comprends bien, on peut faire mourir quelqu'un dans la souffrance ou pas. On écrit le nom mais la personne meurt. C'est naze. So I got this, Death Note 1, Fairy Tail 1, and Soul Eater 1 at Manga Story. I had finished Fairy Tail 1 and I really enjoyed it. So I figured while I'm in France, let me just get whatever they have. And I got this one at Hyakushop Manga. Fairy Tail I used to really enjoy until I became a bit more apathetic. Less naive, and the power of friendship just really wasn't cutting it for me. I actually finished over on Twitch. That was really fun to do some voice acting for.
C'est une idée que Monsieur Salamander d'utiliser un sort de séduction sur des filles, pour pouvoir les vendre ensuite.
Quand le sort ne fonctionne pas, il faut juste utiliser la force.
Non, C'est pas vrai. C'est quoi ce type?
I also got Solita. This one was, again, for the feels and the nostalgia. There's a fight. This thing scared the heck out of me. It's just, his monster bum was just too exposed. Jack Léventreur, tueur en série. Désormais, ton âme est mienne. So this one I got in Berlin at Neo Tokyo GmbH, and it is Naruto. Arara. Naruto. So the massive is about the first three Naruto manga. Pretty big. And I definitely won't be able to understand a lot of it. My current German level is a 1. But I figured while I'm in Berlin, who knows when I'll next be back, you know? So I figured, have it, keep it forever. Ich bin untröstlich, dritte Hokage. Oh, du bist es, Iruka. Was soll das? Wir sind hier im Unterricht. Komm sofort runter, Idiot. Oh nein, Meister Iruka. I get the gist. Not the words, but the gist.
So I also thought I'd show you my anime journal. My cousin gave me access to his Crunchyroll last year. I no longer have access, but while I did quite a lot of study. So this is Boku no Hero Academia. Favorite song, Polaris. Random vocab, Kimetsu no Yaiba, favorite characters, Jujutsu Kaisen. I only watched it for this dude, really. And then there was Bungo Stray Dog, Motorcycle Hyaku. One of the characters really annoyed me, but I enjoyed it overall. So this is where I wrote down my Fairy Tail 1. I'm testing out a general colour scheme for all of my notes. Verbs in blue, adjectives in yellow. And here are the notes from Tonari no Kaibutsu-kun. I reinstalled Crunchyroll. So many ads, I was losing my absolute mind, but I got a lot of vocab in. But there you go. I will probably do a bit more study on Twitch, so if you're not following me on Twitch, go follow me on Twitch. Let's study together. But that's it for this video. How many manga do you have? What languages do you have? If you don't use manga as a resource, what do you use? Do you use magazines, novels? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Je vous apprécie. この動画が良かったらグッドボタン、高評価、구독해주세요. じじよ。バイ.